Thank you so much for coming to the conference today. It's great to see you all. My name is Greg Niemeyer. I am the director of the Center for New Media, and as the director, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I especially want to thank Christian Sim, Aurélie Coulon, Mélanie Picard, and Manon Mouron from Swissnex San Francisco, a wonderful place, Peter Brantley from Books and Browsers, Jale Yoldas and Sabine Erlenwein from the Goethe Institute, Hannah Loué from the Cultural Service of the French Embassy in the United States, the Mellon Foundation, and Professor David Bates, and of course Lara Wolf from the Berkeley Center for New Media for making creating minds possible. I would like to give a special thank you to Lara because all of us have interacted with Lara in one way or another. If you registered, if you looked at the poster, if you tried to find parking, actually it's Lara who brought us all together in practice. She also put together a wonderful team of Berkeley Center for New Media volunteers, including Chris Fallon, Fabian Leva, John Scott, Jenny Higgs, Joanna Chow, Ritwik Banjari, Kate Chandler, Irene Chen, and Summer Fields. I want to see, is Laura around? Where is she? Is she outside? Let's give her a round of applause when she walks in. We'll surprise her, okay? She's the one with the red dress, so we'll give her a round of applause. Until that happens, I will continue with my few opening remarks here. I'd like to say that it's really remarkable that conferences about new media require us to come together physically. Why is that so? We have to make up for our disembodiment deficit. The disembodiment deficit is this experience of reading stuff online and interacting with stuff online that's always at arm's length. And we hurt because our bodies want to experience what our minds are experiencing. And so the disembodiment deficit is about bringing those things together. In conferences like this, to some extent, this might happen because we now get to see the real bodies behind the words, and that is always a good thing. We keep forgetting that new media is nothing but a mirror that reflects something real. That real consists of minerals, it consists of kilowatts, it consists of communities, and it consists of heartbeats. Probably many more things as well. A conference reminds us of these preconditions for new media. We need to feed the guests and make sure there's enough diesel in the backup generators in case of a power outage. It happened last time we had a conference here. I hope it doesn't happen today. If it does, the lights will go dark, but we will still continue. A conference also requires that we consider our purpose, what outcomes we hope to achieve. David Bates started this conversation for this conference in early 2003 with Peter Brantley and the four partners, Swissnex San Francisco, the Cultural Service of the French Embassy, and the Goethe Institute. The conference partners met dozens of times to discuss the purpose of this symposium, the objective shifting and changing into new iterations. So it was a thing that kept bubbling up like an gestational period. Of the conference. The current edition of the website, the current edition of the poster, the latest changes, including the fact that Martin Zimper is going to speak for us instead of Martin Gonterford, who couldn't make it across the Atlantic. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what happened, but he's not going to join us today. But Martin Zimper did just decide to join us and speak for us today, so we're very happy about that. Anyways, you see the current version of this this conference is the latest version of all the previous iterations. And the exciting thing about it is that the conference itself is going to be the ultimate version, and you will write that version. You with your participation, you with your ideas, questions, conversations, maybe on this stage, maybe off-site, maybe during lunch, will challenge the version that we created. And you will reshape the purpose of the conference again and make its purpose yours, as we make your purpose ours. My purpose here is to learn more about digital text. Digital text is not static. It is not two-dimensional. Digital text is dynamic and reflects its own making. A scroll with blessings and instructions for how to read and pronounce them is similar to a digital text because it's not actually static and is meant to be read silently. It's meant to be performed out loud, but it's not meant to be performed out loud just like a ritual text, but rather written and rewritten and copied and recopied. Like that, text is more like a road, merely a medium for traffic to flow without any stability, save for the framework in which the dialogue of travel can unfold. A static text is like a traffic jam. Digital text is a place for ideas to flow between readers and writers. Our job as participants is not to cause a jam, but to be nimble, to realize that listening is as powerful as speaking. that yielding is as formative as pulling ahead, to realize which rules increase flow, to never lose a view of the whole system and what it needs, to realize that each move has a beginning and an end. And I realize that we all are seated now, so my speech will come to an end very shortly. But since I said digital text is not static, I wanted to reveal how this very text that I'm speaking was generated. It wasn't generated easily. It was generated in various iterations. And I copied all the iterations, and I made a movie out of which parts of the text changed at what time. And so with that in mind, I hope we can enter a conversation of free, open-flowing text and free, open-flowing ideas. With that, I'd like to introduce Eric Paulus, who's going to handle the first panel. And thank you again very much for coming. And I see, is Laura here now? Still outside. Well, thank you, Laura. Let's give her a round of applause as well and get started.